In the quaint town of Willowbrook, nestled between rolling hills and whispering trees, lived a girl named Emily, tall and willowy with chestnut hair cascading down her back. Emily carried herself with a quiet grace that belied the storm raging within her. At 16, she was a solitary figure, lost in the labyrinth of her own emotions. Emily's days were filled with the echoes of loneliness. At school, she sat at the back of the classroom, a silent observer amidst the chatter and laughter of her peers. She longed to belong, to be a part of the vibrant tapestry of teenage life. But she felt like an outsider, unable to bridge the gap between herself and her classmates. At home, Emily retreated into the sanctuary of her room, where the walls whispered secrets and the shadows danced in silent solidarity. The only companions she had were the characters in the books she devoured hungrily, escaping into worlds far removed from her own. But even in the realm of fiction, she found herself longing for connection, for a kindred spirit to share her thoughts and dreams. It was on one such evening, as the sky turned a deep shade of indigo, and the stars began to twinkle like distant beacons of hope, that Emily made a decision. She couldn't continue living in the suffocating embrace of solitude. She needed to break free, to find her place in the world. With trembling hands, she picked up her phone and dialed a number she hadn't called in years. It rang twice before a familiar voice answered on the other end. "Hello, Dad." Emily's voice wavered, her heart pounding in her chest. "It's me, Emily." There was a pause, a heartbeat suspended in time, before her father spoke again. "Emily, it's been so long. How are you, sweetheart?" Tears welled up in Emily's eyes as she poured out her heart to her father, confessing her struggles and fears, the weight of loneliness bearing down on her fragile shoulders. And to her surprise, he listened, really listened. In the days that followed, Emily found herself opening up to her father in ways she never thought possible. They talked about everything and nothing, sharing stories and laughter, bridging the chasm that had separated them for so long. But even as she found solace in her newfound connection with her father, Emily couldn't shake the feeling of emptiness that still lingered within her. She longed for something more, something she couldn't quite name. It was during one of their conversations that Emily's father mentioned a summer camp for teens like her, a place where she could meet others who shared her interests and passions. At first, Emily was hesitant. The thought of stepping out of her comfort zone filled her with anxiety. But deep down, she knew it was exactly what she needed. With her father's encouragement, Emily mustered up the courage to sign up for the camp. And as the days passed and summer drew near, she found herself counting down the minutes until she would embark on this new adventure. When the day finally arrived, Emily's heart raced with anticipation as she boarded the bus bound for Camp Serenity. As they drove through the lush countryside, she couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement building within her. When they arrived at the camp, Emily was greeted by a flurry of activity as campers bustled about, setting up tents and exchanging introductions. She felt a pang of nervousness in the pit of her stomach. But as she looked around at the smiling faces of her fellow campers, she knew she was exactly where she was meant to be. Over the course of the summer, Emily forged friendships that would last a lifetime. She discovered a sense of belonging she had never known before. As she hiked through the forest, swam in the crystal-clear lake, and sat around the campfire swapping stories beneath the stars. But more than that, Emily discovered something within herself. She found strength in vulnerability, courage in uncertainty, and resilience in the face of adversity. And as she stood on the shores of the lake, watching the sun dip below the horizon, she realized that the echoes of solitude that had once haunted her had been replaced by the sweet symphony of connection. As she looked up at the night sky, ablaze with 1,000 twinkling stars, Emily felt a sense of peace wash over her. For the first time in a long time, she knew that she was not alone. And as she closed her eyes and listened to the gentle rustle of the trees and the soft murmur of her friends' voices, she knew that no matter where life took her, she would always carry the light of friendship in her heart.